Please give a warm welcome to Lewis, everybody. Oh, you dance?
Just a tad bit. The year is 1986. I'm standing in the parking lot of the complex in which I live in. My father is here. I don't know why he's here. I can't remember. But during our conversation, a woman walks by, and my father gives her a slight nudge. Just a nod, and she moves about. Several minutes later, my father asked me, do I know this woman? I said, I don't know her, but I've seen her around. And he tells me, that's your sister Tina and Thomas's auntie, Cookie. And I'm thinking, Tina and Thomas. Now I've heard about them growing up, but I never met them. My father really never talked about them. I only remember hearing about them through my Uncle Willie Earl. So Uncle Willie Earl was my father's brother, and he, like myself, he liked to go around and visit other family members. So when he came to visit my family, he would tell us, yeah, I seen your sister Tina and Thomas today. However, he never brought them around. So me and my father would finish our conversation, and he would leave. So curiosity piqued me. So I sought out this woman that had walked by. I didn't see her the same day, but the next day I saw her. And I approached her and I said, excuse me, is your name Cookie? She said, yes. I said, do you have a niece and a nephew by the name of Tina and Thomas? She said, yes. I said, do you know where Tina lives? And she says, as a matter of fact, Tina lives in the back. And I'm thinking at this time, in the back. I've lived in this complex for many years. I know everybody here. Tina, Tina, Tina. Then I remember, there's a young lady by the name of Tina who has a roommate by the name of Diane, who just moved in maybe 4 or 5 months ago. So I leave this place and I go over and I knock on the door, and Diane answers, and I says, Diane, is Tina home? And she says, no. I said, okay, can I ask you another question? What is Tina's last name? And she said, her name is Crosby, which is my last name. So I left and I told her that, tell Tina I need to talk to her. 2 days went by and I finally caught up with Tina, and just looking at her, I could tell that we were related. I didn't see it before, but now I did. And I asked her about her brother Tom, and she tells me that Tom was in the hospital, but he'd be home the very next day. Turns out, Tom had got shot, kind of like Forrest Gump, right in the buttocks, right? But anyways, here I was. I had just met one of my siblings and was looking forward to meeting the other one. Here, all my life I wanted a big brother, and now I had one. So me and Tom, we hit it off great, and we hung out, and he would take me to meet some of his friends, and I would take him to meet some of my friends. We would just hang out. We fast forward, maybe 5 years later, I go to my best friend's mother's house, and she tells me that a woman by the name of Linda called. And she left the number and said, your father wants you to call him. And now I'm thinking, my father. Mind you, my father was in and out of my life for quite some time, but it almost appeared that after I reached out to Tina and Thomas, then my father kind of disappeared. But I caught up with him. He said he inherited some property down in Mississippi and he wanted me to come down and help him. So I did. While down there, I was working at a lumber yard, and I decided I wanted to do something different. So I went to school and got my CDL license. I began to drive trucks, but I would come back and forth to California. One time I was back in California, me and my brother was hanging out, and my brother, I was ready to leave, and he says, I want to go with you. And I said, okay. Things turned out, and I wound up leaving him behind. I went. And 3 days later, I got the phone call. It was my baby sister crying, and she said they killed him. And I'm like, who? And she's saying Thomas. And right at that moment, I'm thinking, wow, wait, no, it can't be. If I would have only taken him with me. This is the guilt that I lived with for a number of years. I never told anyone. I just kind of waddled in it myself. But over the years, God has talked to me, and He's let me know that there was nothing I could do. If I would have taken him with me or not, that was going to happen. So today, I freed myself from blaming myself. I finally got the big brother that I always wanted, and I'm forever grateful for him. Thank you.